All right, Brian, you're heading to Ohio for some deer hunting.
Yes, sir. Gonna try.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm excited for you. You just got back from Kentucky. You've been hunting North Carolina hard. You've started off this year with a bang.
Trying. It definitely, North Carolina is, if you can hunt here, you can hunt anywhere. I mean, the swamps, the thickets, it's entirely different anywhere else.
I agree. So that's what we're talking about today, guys, on the archery project. We are covering Brian and we're going to talk about Kentucky deer that you just shot. We're going to talk about how North Carolina is a struggle state, and then what your strategy looks like heading out to Ohio. So thanks again for joining us today, guys. I'm your host, Zach Plasica, and I got Mr. Brian Gay back on the podcast with his infinite wisdom and all of his experience. And we're going to discuss it all.
I don't know about infinite. It's trial by error.
Trial by error, trial by fire, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's you're figuring it out pretty dang quick.
I'm figuring something out.
You are.
I'm in deer almost every night.
I know.
Just not the ones I want to shoot.
Well, so that's impressive in its own, I think, for a lot of people. Especially like it's bow hunting's hard, right? It can be very discouraging for a lot of people because that's what we hear a lot. Like, I'm just not seeing deer. And I think for a lot of people getting into it, that's kind of the struggle, especially here in North Carolina, is like, you'll get it, you're sporadic.
Sure.
But I think you're making progress when you're consistently finding deer in new locations, right? Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm
new
all over the
locations.
place.
You're not in one spot sitting in the same area.
Yeah. I constantly move. So entry and exit points are always key, right? Play the wind, get in when you can. And then, scent here is huge. And the wind will change on you in a heartbeat. So I look at wind patterns a lot. I downloaded the Windy app and I just look at the whole week.
Right. So, it's funny, we talk about wind. Wind is critical. Wind and access, right? Mm-hmm. Critical for being successful or not successful. And I talked to our buddy Joe Kalashewski a little bit.
Yeah.
And his approach is pretty good, man. The wind, my biggest issue was the wind was limiting me, right, to where I would think that I had access to, because I'm like, man, wow, that's a northeast wind. I can't access this portion of the property. I'm never going to be able to hunt it. And his approach was, man, sometimes you got to just take chances and see.
Right.
If you don't know where those deer are coming from, you're never going to know if you don't get into there. So that was one of the big things I took away from him. And I've kind of applied that, and I've hunted I don't want to say a lot, but a little bit more than I typically do early season this year. And same, I've been in a lot of deer. The hunting hasn't been great, but I've been more consistent in seeing deer and being a little bit more aggressive with this on the property that I just didn't fully comprehend yet.
Sure. Yeah. Without trail cameras,
Yes,
it makes it super difficult. So I know that one of the great spots where I goofed on that buck was, I can't get in there unless it's a southeast wind.
Right.
And I know because that's the direction that they're all coming from. I had 3 does and that buck all come in on the southeast side.
And this is for North Carolina.
Yeah. So it's, there's no way to get in there unless you play that wind. If it's a northeast wind, it's going to go right into them. You're never going to see them.
Right.
That's just the way it is. But then, like in Kentucky, it didn't matter.
Isn't that weird? How different the deer are, because I like I said, I hunt Kentucky too, and it seems like the deer are a little bit more lax there. Maybe just pressure wise, or maybe it's the thermals, maybe it's the wind. I'm not really sure, but it seems like you can get away with a little bit more in some states than others when it comes to I
think terrain has a lot to do with it.
I do too.
You know what I mean? So obviously thermals play a huge role. In the morning, everything's rising. In the evening, everything's falling. So with that in mind, in the evening, since that's primarily what I hunt early season, I'm trying to get into a bottom, like a swamp bottom, because I know my thermals are not going to go anywhere higher. And if this animal comes to me, they're coming down to me. So by the time they know that I'm there, it's too late.
That makes sense.
And then the wind, if you play the wind right, it's going to swirl at a bottom anyways, because it's coming over, a ridge or a hill or whatever you want to call it, a ditch line. In our case, it's going to swirl when it gets down there. So you just do your best to stay out of it and, constantly check it. That's the glory of moving in a saddle, is I can just kind of move around the tree and use the tree to block a little bit of that. But I hunt in the ditches.
Yeah. The micro terrain here is more what you would call it, I guess.
Yeah. But in Ohio, it's pretty windy there all the time. and I'm going to play the wind obviously, but we're going to kind of hang and bang and see if we can go.
Yeah. So let's start with Kentucky, right? So you've done very well in North Carolina in the last couple of years. You hunted Kentucky this year. That was a guided hunt.
Yep.
You shot a killer deer.
Yeah.
And that was a velvet buck.
Yep.
First one.
Yep.
What did he score? Do you know?
Well, you can't really score them in velvet, but I'm going to say 230. So, I mean, that's because it's when the velvet drops, everything gets smaller, right? Because there's so much, it's actual skin on it. So it makes everything thicker. The measurements are a lot bigger.
It was a big deer.
Oh yeah. He weighed, I mean, I'm sorry. Did I say he weighed 230?
He weighed 230. I was going to say, that's
no, it was like 130 inch deer.
130 inch deer. He weighed 230.
Yes, correct. Monster. It took 4 of us to get him in the back of the side by side. A lot of that was because we didn't want to grab the antlers,
right,
to rip the velvet off because we're preserving it. So it's going to be a killer mount.
Yeah. So when it came to that deer, what was the strategy, right? So we talked about it a little bit. You didn't utilize the stand that was already there. You actually used your own sticks. And
so it was a ladder stand.
Yep.
I went in thinking I had to play the wind. Right. So check the wind. I looked at the forecast. I looked at everything. I was going to use a whole different stand, a whole different setup. And the landowner was like, look, we've got these 2 ladder stands. You don't necessarily have to sit in those, but they're already set up. They're great trees. They're easy shots. I was like, well, let me put my platform because I don't like shooting from a ladder stand.
Yeah.
Since I've gotten used to a saddle, I'd rather shoot from that anyways. I'll put my platform above this ladder stand and hunt out of that. Because the first tree I got into, trying to play the wind, full of ants. Like complete, I was like, and I was 3 sticks high already. And this tree started just like crawling and moving. I was like, oh, crap. And then, of course, they gave me a hard time because I ended up being in the tree that was already had a ladder stand in it. But I was using my own stuff.
Yeah, just more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So why did you pick that stand? Was the wind in your favor for that?
Absolutely not.
It was not. So that's interesting. So why did you sit in that stand?
So they had huge amount of data. The guy runs like 50 trail cameras.
So Joe said 65.
Yeah, it's a ton.
Which is insane.
A ton of cameras. And that was there was a bunch of other guys up there from Florida too, but that was the spot that had the most action. Okay. So they wanted to put me on that, which I was grateful for. Was awesome. So they're like, yeah, he saw him on camera before, it was still gray lighted. I couldn't even make out what it was. He goes, shooter buck's in there already. As he texted me, and I was like, okay, well, I'll see what happens when I can see him.
So the wind wasn't your favorite. The wind was blowing over the deer, over your back.
And it was kind of coming right to left. Right, I don't know which. I can't orientate my directional compass.
Was the deer downwind of you though?
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, he was. If it was kind of like a side wind coming across me,
so maybe not quite catching your scent.
Yeah. I mean, I was still scent free. I do everything I do. Nothing changes.
Right, but you still can't beat it. You're still not going to eliminate scent fully.
No. I mean, if you look at like a scent cone.
Yep.
Right, as where I was and the deer was, I was right in it, where his scent cone would be. But I mean, it didn't seem to matter. It did not seem to matter.
So, and this is early season, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, velvet buck, but you hunted the morning there.
Yep.
So and that's something too, right? So typically, most people are not going to hunt mornings during early season, because you have a high likelihood of really screwing up the deer early, right? If you don't know exactly what they're doing or what their pattern is, because it's usually they're on the feet early in the morning. You get in, you bump them out, you're not going to see them again.
Right.
So this was a little bit different. You guys had enough data based off the trail cameras that you were able to put that into play in order to get in there undetected before that deer. So what time did you get in the woods?
It was probably 5 o'clock. It was super early. I was in the stand set up 5 o'clock. So we went the afternoon before, and I hung my set. So I just left my tree tether in the tree and my platform, and then I literally they gave me the keys to a 4-wheeler, and I rode a 4-wheeler down the side of a path, like a goat path, and then parked it, walked in another 300, 400 yards, and then climbed up the ladder, sat up, and just waited.
What time was sunrise? Do you remember?
Like 6:48.
So did you shoot him?
37 minutes into legal light.
37 minutes into legal light. So that's efficient as it gets.
Yeah. Well, it was, I mean, good and bad. Because, I mean, it was we'd planned a few days, right? So now the hunt's over.
Yeah, well, you shot a doe too afterwards, right?
Yeah,
That's still fun. Just 2 of them. So, I mean, what was your biggest takeaway for Kentucky? Because, like I said, it's a different style of hunting, right? So I know you as you've had success just on your own, right? So like off the beaten path, taking boats, utilizing a boat as access to get deep in the woods where no one else can get. You've killed some killer deer in North Carolina that way. This was different, right? This was all basically laid out for you, which also is pretty cool because I think there's a lot of takeaways from that because you're able to observe deer and kind of watch and learn a little bit. So was there any major learning points from you from that style hunt versus your normal hunting?
So, I mean, it was hunting over food source.
Yep.
Right. Which it's an easy way to do it for sure.
Easy way to do it. I don't know.
You put a lot of work into it.
So that's the thing. And you know, I've always been on, you know, I've never been big into that. Right. Like your own baiting. Right.
Yep.
I think most people have done it. To me, it's just a lot of effort. Right?
It is.
So,
it is.
And that's the difference with it. I talked to Joe about it. The amount of effort he puts in to some of these locations is unbelievable, man. The amount the hundreds of pounds of minerals that he puts out starting in January, the amount of detail he puts into trail cameras and maintaining them and collecting intel and then setting up these actual bait sites. It's just a different style of hunting, and there's so much work that goes into it. I didn't realize.
He does it entirely different.
He does, yes.
So he will run a tractor. I mean, he's planting mineral. He's doing everything like as extensive as he can to make sure that they are successful.
Yes.
Kentucky, they're running cameras, and they just dump corn. It's not, I mean.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was
so it's a little different there.
Pile.
I didn't realize you could bait in Kentucky.
Yeah, private land you can.
Oh, okay. Just not on public.
Yeah. A lot of states are like that.
Interesting. So how did you feel about that hunt though? I mean, it was great. Is it as fun to you like that style of hunt versus, you know, on your own? Is it the same reward?
It is and it isn't.
Okay.
You know, I was grateful for the opportunity to be able to do it. It obviously was a phenomenal, biggest deer to date.
Super cool concept too with them and the program.
I feel like, and there's so much, I mean, they call them hollers, creek ends, bottoms. I mean, huge oak bottoms, and there were turkey everywhere. Like, I didn't even realize it was turkey season because I would have smoked one of those with my bow too. But, I think that if I were to do it again, or to just do, you know, get into a lease into Kentucky or something, do things the way that Joe does them, like the prep, you know, making sure everything is the way that I want them, not just necessarily throwing 200 pounds of corn out on a specific site and sitting over it.
Right.
You know, because I want to be able to move and run and gun and do my thing. And then I want to make the play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing. So then that's what Joe does, right? Mm-hmm. So like Joe does all the work and like that dude puts in work 365.
Oh yeah.
And he's a wealth of knowledge. Like we've got a lot of great resources at our hand, I think personally here that we have access to. You being one of them, all the other guys we know, Levi's, Joe Longs, Joe Kolashevsky's, all these different individuals with all these different experiences and all these different tactics. We're able to pick their brains. But Joe is very extensive, puts in a lot of effort into his hunting and setting up scenarios and creating opportunity, not only for himself, but other people.
Yeah. He is, and I'm trying to pick his brain. So
me too.
He is. I'm definitely not done learning. Right.
Oh, no.
And
you're a student of this game indefinitely. I think I would say that Joe and Levi's and all them are constantly students of the game.
But like I'll go out with him, and he'll be like, "Dude, I've already seen 2 deer," and I'm like, "What?" And so I'm like, "What the heck?" You know, because I feel like sitting I'm like, dude, how are you on deer? I'm going to sit with you. He goes, okay, come on. I was like, no, like in your tree.
In your lap.
Yeah. It's exactly verbatim what I said. I was like, because he's seeing, and they're not great bucks, but, you know, he saw a spike, then a crab claw, and then a small basket 7, all in one sitting, you know, and he's going in.
And we're talking about North Carolina right now.
Yeah. And
a new area.
Yep. Where I'm seeing does.
Yeah.
Like, oh, crap.
So what is he doing different? What did you
Purple.
learn?
He is literally just finding sign. He is like digging deep.
So what sign is he looking for currently that he's like, if we were to talk to
Hard
him,
scrape line.
right now.
Yep. Fresh scrape line.
And he's sitting right
That's
over
what
top
he
of
said.
that.
He said, I'm getting on a hard scrape line and then making a play from there. Where I was doing the same thing. I didn't see anything. I did. I saw a spike the other night. It was actually still in velvet.
In North Carolina?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Super weird. I got a video of it, but it's not great because he was at like 36 yards. But I was like, well, that's crazy.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And we're hunting within 600 yards of each other, same general area, but like, and he will go to extensive lengths. I dropped him off the other night in the boat. He ran the boat with me and I was like, hey, look, I want to kind of put you here. I'm going to be here. He goes, okay. He goes, you're not going to be able to pick me up in the same spot. I go, all right. So then I came back on the back side of the creek line, like overhead high reeds, and he's waist deep in the water. He goes, yeah, here I am. I was like, oh my God, dude. He goes, this is the easiest way out.
So he's just pushing really far back?
Oh yeah.
Or just into the deepest, thickest stuff? Because North Carolina, we know, right, is very, very thick, very difficult to hunt just because it's so thick, right? And you can't see, but 20 to 30 yards in front of you.
Maybe.
Yeah, depending on
I came out last night and it was like 3 feet in front of me.
That's interesting. So he's just finding sign for early season, fresh scrape lines, and then making a move based off that. And it's all around, I'm assuming, pretty thick stuff.
Oh, yes, super thick stuff.
Off the beaten
path.
Very minimal
minimal shot opportunities.
That's interesting. So completely different than Kentucky, right?
Wildly, yeah.
And Ohio, I assume.
Yeah.
So, like we said, North Carolina is very thick, very, very difficult to navigate, to get through, to get back to anywhere. What about, so how was the Kentucky actual terrain? Was it where you were at? Is it a lot of rolling hills?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. A lot of rolling hills, a lot of single lane roads. Back where we were, there's no yellow lines. It is one lane.
Oh yeah. So pretty old school.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, and not a lot of ag. There's like farmland, but it's animal farm.
Yeah. So like cattle farms and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So like the property that my family owns in Kentucky, it used to be cattle farms.
Okay.
A lot of rolling hills, beautiful terrain, like just landscape. Yep. Awesome. And my cousin Seth, he kind of oversees like, as far as like the hunting side, but it's leased out now to somebody that farms it.
Okay.
So I think there's soybeans on it right now. So it's a different, the landscape for us has changed in this property over the last few years because it was all cattle farms forever. And now it's ag. Yeah. So it's a little different. So it's kind of changed how the deer
that's going to help
move. And there's so many deer there versus like, there's like herds of deer there versus here. You see like a couple, like I'll see like,
I did notice that too.
2 to 5. Here and there's like 40 in a field.
It's crazy.
Which, you look at it, Ohio right now is going through that deer what's the
CWD?
No, it's not CWD. I thought it was something different. It's whatever. It's an issue with the deer, right?
Right.
Is that affect where you're going?
No. So I'm on, it's virtually zero pressure. And the deer that I've seen, that I've got, my brother hung 2 cameras and I love him to death, but he's not a hunter.
Oh yes. It's EHD.
Yeah.
EHD. So that's a massive thing going on in Ohio currently, but that doesn't affect where you're at.
I don't know.
Dude,
I'll have to look.
There's been like
by county
thousands of deer that have died that they've found. I know guys that canceled trips going to Ohio because of that.
Oh, wow.
So you haven't seen anything about it, huh?
No. Not for that county.
Okay, where you're at.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, now I'm going to double check.
Yeah, I would.
So
EHD is what it was, not CWD. I think they have both, but EHD is like the massive issue currently in Ohio.
Wow. Well,
yeah, dude, they're saying they've found thousands of deer.
Really?
Yes.
But that's still, so I know CWD is non-transmittable to humans, right? Is EHD? Does it say?
No.
We're going to figure it out.
Hundreds of sick or dead deer reported in 2025. It says outbreaks have been observed in southeastern Ohio counties such as Athens, Washington, places like that.
Yeah, no, I'm going south of Cincinnati.
Okay, so it says it's a viral illness that affects whitetail deer. It's a virus spread by a small biting fly. And symptoms are high fever, dehydration, unusual behavior, unresponsiveness, or standing with its head down. It's transmitted by those flies, particularly in late summer and early fall when their population is high. They're currently monitoring it, and there has been thousands of deer that have died in Ohio. And I know Kentucky is an observation, at least the county that I go to, observation county for either CWD or EHD.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's, dude, more and more rampant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have resources at our fingertips. So it could have been known before, and we just didn't have access to it.
Well, no, they're finding thousands of dead deer.
Well, I mean, they could have found them 10 years ago, and they just didn't report it.
I don't know, man. I think it's definitely, from what I've seen,
more extensive.
More extensive.
Yeah.
Than,
because I know CWD was a big thing before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, and I don't know if this is just a separate strain of it.
No, it's a different,
altogether.
CWD is a neurological disease affecting the brain and central nervous system, while the EHD is a viral illness that affects them. It causes unusual behavior and death. So I don't know. It definitely seems more prominent. At least it's more, there's more people speaking about it. It's more in the news
than
it has been. So to what, how much more, I don't know. But clearly it's an issue. But I do know a couple guys who were supposed to go to Ohio and cancel the trips because of the issues. So you have to report back and see.
It's already paid for.
Yeah.
So I'm going.
Go no matter what.
Yep.
So the landscape's obviously different. Kentucky, a lot more open, a lot more shot opportunities, I'm assuming, based off the amount of deer you see. What's Ohio's landscape like versus, is it more similar to Kentucky?
No.
Okay.
No. So this is small patches of woods dividing ag fields.
So with that is, does that create more, based off the properties that you've got, more opportunity to pinpoint deer because of the
You can
terrain?
pinpoint travel corridors
Right.
a lot easier and bedding.
Okay.
But as far as food source, because there's corn in this field, there's soybeans in this field, you got to figure out when they're going where.
Right.
And trying to get any of that information without actually boots on the ground is going to be super tough.
So you don't have any prior intel going into this? Do you have any cameras or anything run up there?
I do. So I gave my brother 2 cameras to run.
Just 2?
Yep, just 2.
Not 65.
No. I'm going to take probably a couple more just to, like, hey, just hold on to these, and then I'll give you a game plan for next year.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. But I'm going to literally get there Friday, probably mid-afternoon, run, scout, throw some extra stuff out, some minerals, some things like that, and then wait for it. And I'll set up a couple extra cameras that I'll pull down when I leave, but just have them go for that week that I'm there, and then make a game plan, get boots on the ground.
So, I mean, what is the game plan when you're there? Is it just observation hunts initially?
Yeah.
Just kind of sit back and observe what's happening?
So I'll get in Friday. I know where there's a couple deer. I've seen the buck run through a few times on camera. Just because he's not on the camera doesn't mean he's not there.
Right.
Right. So
that is important for people. We hear about that because people are like, I'm not seeing anything on my camera, and it turns out they're skirting right outside of your camera.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Friday afternoon, set everything up. I'm gonna take my ground blind because I know there's a spot that they're in there, but there's really no good trees to get into, so I will have to ground hunt it.
So you don't think throwing a ground blind up is going to disrupt their current behavior?
Not if I throw food out.
Maybe.
You know?
You don't think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to come to it or not be alarmed by it?
Well, I'll set up an extra camera and we'll see.
Yeah, find out. That's only one way to learn,
yeah.
right?
So that's my kind of plan right now. And then, because I got a hard creek line on the other side of the farm, and then corn and a bunch of rolling hills and a creek line on the far end. So I've got 3 spots I realistically can rotate through, and then the Ohio River's on the backside. So they just don't want me stomping through fields, but I think soybeans are going to be cut this week. So
while you're there or before you get there?
Before I get there.
Okay, so that's going to change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are you planning on mainly hunting travel corridors? Because there's so much food, you're going to have to figure out where they're traveling and cut them off. Is that the goal is it still between bedding and food?
Yep. That's where I found the most luck. You know, bedding and food, getting them in transit to one or the other is where I've had the most luck.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what about as far as like this time of year? When does the rut? November, early November.
Yeah.
So you're still pretty early season.
Yeah.
Are you only going to hunt? So because you're out of state, are you only going to hunt evening still? Or are you going to set up? You plan on hunting all day, every day, just observing?
I'll do mornings. Come out, come up with a game plan. Look at collect any data that I can, and then make a play for the evening. Yeah.
And so you're going to be there for a total of 5 days.
From the 10th to the 15th or the 16th.
So roughly.
Yeah.
So you have roughly 4 to 5 days in the woods.
Yep. So like I'll get there Friday, get everything set, take Saturday morning off, come up with a really good game plan, get as much intel as I can Friday afternoon into evening. Sit, watch, glass, do whatever I can from the field edge, look where I can in the travel corridors I can see, and then come up with a game plan for Saturday night, and then just go ham until I have to leave.
How much property is it? A lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like hundreds of acres?
Probably, yeah.
And it's just you hunting it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So right now, it's just me. My brother might, but I doubt it.
Is he bow hunt or is he rifle hunt?
He's a big, person. He does whatever he can. So Ohio's different.
Oh, yeah. He's way bigger than you.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I forgot. There's a massive difference.
Massive difference.
Yeah, that's right.
Ohio, you can gun hunt, but I don't know when it opens, and then it's all straight wall cartridges. So you can't shoot any high power rifles.
Right.
Which really limits your distance. So, I mean, unless you take in trajectory and, drop and all that stuff, but no one wants to do that. It's not fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, no doubt. So you're going to be hunting travel corridors. I mean, as far as right now, you've got 2 cameras hang out. Do you have any good data to go off of?
Yeah, there's a nice Big 10 out there, and there's 2 Big 10s. One's super wide, and then one is like a non-typical.
So what are you seeing on the trail cameras currently? Is it all nighttime activity where you've got those cameras hung?
Mm-hmm. So right now it is, yeah.
So based off that, what's your game plan?
I've seen does in the morning,
okay,
and bucks in the evening.
Like at night, evening, or
late, like last shooting light moving into late night.
So do you, based off where those cameras are you able to move a little closer to where you think they're coming from?
Yep. I can get right in on the property line on that, because it's probably 100 yards wide, and then property line length, right, of woods. So it's strips of woods, if you can imagine, between ag fields.
Right.
So I'm just going to try and so I know he comes across, there's an apple tree in the yard on this edge of the field, and then there's kind of a dirt road that cuts between. There's corridor here, and I'm going to cut him off on the far end because I know he's coming this way.
What is the wind like there? Is it pretty more consistent? Because right here, like North Carolina, right, our wind seems very inconsistent.
It is. Unless,
like with the other day, we had a very consistent northeast wind because we had some storms. We had the hurricane off the coast, or the tropical storm off the coast. The wind seemed pretty consistent. They weren't super gusty. They were consistent, which seems pretty rare for North Carolina.
Yeah. Typically,
we'll have some gusts. Then it seems like a backdraft. You'll get some swirling, just a lot of inconsistencies, or no wind.
Pretty consistent. And I'd say this low end is 12 to 13.
Wow. So you're fighting the wind almost.
Yeah.
So it's pretty gusty.
Yep.
Which can make it
a little more challenging.
A little more challenging. Absolutely.
So
do they move? I mean, is there a difference in movement whenever it's that windy, or is it just normal for them?
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
It doesn't change their habits at all. Early season, the two big bucks were running together, but now they've kind of, from what he said, is they're kind of separated now, but they're still on the very same property. So I just got to locate them. So get between bedding and food.
So it's essentially the same strategy.
Yeah, I don't change a whole lot. I will if I have to, based on, obviously terrain, times, accesses, things like that, but it's not going to be a whole lot of difference.
So what about the woods? So here in North Carolina, we know it's thick. You can only get so high before you're above canopy and you can't see what's going around. Mm-hmm. What is it, the tree selection like in Ohio?
A lot of oaks I can go 40 feet in the tree.
Really?
Yeah.
So
A lot like Kentucky.
So you're going to get up a little bit higher then in those trees.
Yeah, I'll run all 4 sticks.
As high as you can.
Yep.
Are you running 8ers on all 4 of them?
Just 2 of them.
Just 2. So that's how I've set up now too. We have a similar setup. I've got the trophy line hyper lights.
Yep.
And I've got 8ers on the bottom too. And then I have 4. It seems like the 4th is kind of a waste right now with where I've been hunting. It's just in my way. But I've carried it. Just got it just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my strategy for Kentucky too, is it'll be higher because it's so much more open there.
Yep.
Like you can see so far and it's very easy to get picked off.
60-yard shot
is realistic.
Yes.
It's within the wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
If you're comfortable taking it. But I think that was one of my hard lessons last year was I just didn't get the height that I needed, especially hunting with my son, 2 of us in the tree.
Yeah.
And it's just so much more open. It's so much easier to get picked off versus North Carolina. I mean, you can hunt substantially lower because you're in the canopy. You're in the canopy already.
And even if you feel like you're in the open, there's backdrop.
There's so much front and back cover all over that it's very easy to not be visible quite as easy. You don't get skylined because typically there's a lot below you going on too.
Sure.
So it's definitely different as far as I think tree selection and hunting height goes.
Yeah. I'm trying to, and I've found a ton of oak bottoms, because I hate climbing pine trees. They're slick. And then when you get, like, if you have a good platform that digs into the tree or your sticks, you have sap everywhere. It ends up
I like the smell of it.
Yeah, but it ends up on my face. I don't know how. It's like all over my clothes and
You're like my kids eating chocolate.
Yes, 100%.
Like, how is it on your forehead?
It's going to get everywhere. It's in my hair, and I'm wearing a hat. I don't know how, but tree sap, and it's thick, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Impressive. So what's the weather going to be like when you're there? It's still hot right here. We're getting ready to get a temperature drop like Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to drop into the low 70s. What does the temperature look like there? Is it going to drop off as well?
It will. It is going to drop, but it's not going to be, I think, highs in the low 70s is the high.
So there should be good deer movement then while you're there.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, because it's we're like I said, we're getting ready to drop off finally. We've been in like the 80s.
Yeah, it was hot yesterday.
Yeah, super hot, and I'm looking forward to this weather dropping off because like the high is gonna be 72 on like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep.
After we're supposed to get some rain too, which I assume is gonna get things up and moving. But Jordan Carter, I don't know if you just saw him.
This
morning.
Yep.
He shot
the big 6
monster North Carolina deer. It was huge.
It was like 218 pounds, I think, right?
Yeah, 220, something like that.
Yeah.
That's a big North Carolina deer.
Yeah.
It's tall, too.
Big 6.
Yeah, real big. It was a good-looking deer. Congratulations, Jordan. But, yeah, dude, so obviously very different. The tactics are similar.
Yeah, well, unless I have to change, but I haven't had to yet.
Right. So, I mean, it's as far as because there's so much ag fields in there, are they coming out and feeding on those? Or are they with all the acorns and stuff? Are they still in the woods? What's your approach initially? Because you can't hunt those ag fields. They're too big.
Right. Yeah. So that's what's going to throw a wrench, I think. So if they cut those soybeans and there's still some on the ground, I'm really going to have to catch them on their way to that.
Yes.
But they've been feeding acorns, stuff like that. My brother put out a mineral block, and they went to that initially, but then it was just kind of like, meh.
Kind of late.
Yeah. So that's why, he's doing the best he can.
Helping you out, man.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for.
But, and even when we went to Kentucky, we went south, and this was not the guided thing. This was just, hey, go to this spot. Right. So I set up, and that's when those 3 bucks came down, the 2 8s and the 10. That was just, and I was in a super tight spot like I would hunt here. Tactics didn't change.
Right.
And then I took the doe that came in behind me because I didn't have any buck tags. But, I mean, even still, to be able to get, they were 8 yards from me.
Yeah, I think you posted a video on that.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, you had a lot of good encounters, so you're clearly doing something right.
Yeah.
And so you said whenever you got in there, what were you hunting over? Was it just a travel corridor?
Yeah, so there was ag to my back left, and then I was in like a kind of like a mud pit bottom, and then a ridge to my front, and then because I was just trying to play the wind, figure out where I can get in and what I can do with as little disruption as possible. They were coming from the ridge line, working through that mud pit into an ag field.
Oh, okay.
So I caught them in transit.
which is ideal because they're super not on alert either, just chilling, just happy to be there.
And that was 3 of the 8 I saw that night.
That's interesting. And they were still bunched up together, but that was super early season.
Yeah. I think that was like the 8th, 9th.
Yeah. Yeah. Very early. You got it done right away. So, back to the Ohio thing with trail cameras, right? You've only got 2 out. Since you're there, you said you're going to put out some more cameras. Yep. What's the strategy with on the ground hunting cameras? Like, are you just going to set a couple out and forget them? Or is it, you're going to how are you going to, what's the goal or the strategy with putting those cameras out?
So I'm going to look at, obviously travel corridors, and it's going to be beat down paths.
Right.
And I'm going to look for, big mature deer sign.
Which is?
Rubs, scrapes, anything.
Tracks.
Yeah, big tracks. If there's mud around, if you can see it, looking at food sources. I mean, there's just going to be all kinds of just recon and go.
Yeah. Are they going to be cell cams?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that you can key in right away, get the live alerts.
So I like the Moultrie edges because they don't require an SD card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy. And it's super easy to set the plan up. So I just turn it on and I can turn it off whenever I want. So I'll pay for the month of it while I'm there for a week and then just,
That makes sense. What about as far as a height with cameras? This is a pretty, depending on who you talk to, everyone has a different concept or a different idea how high they should hang cameras. Do you hang them above eyesight for?
If I'm in public, yeah.
So that no one snags them too?
Yep. If I'm on private, generally it's really not a concern. And there's no, we have issues with bears here. Right. So bears will tear your stuff up. So I generally hang them here. If I'm on public, I hang them high, at least 1 stick high on that little contraption I make that, screws into the tree.
Right.
And then you don't even see them.
Dude, so I just saw a thing on Instagram yesterday about camouflaging your cameras. It was actually kind of cool. So they took this blue painter's tape and they tape off the sensor and the actual lens, right?
Yeah.
And then they spray adhesive on the front of it and they just dip it in leaves and dirt. And then you pick it up and pull it. Dude, it blends in good.
Really?
Yeah. I could see somebody hunting private or public, that has a constant issue with that. Or even on private, you're trying to, hide those cameras a little bit better. Seems like a pretty cool concept. They blend in really well.
Okay. Let's glue some cameras to the dirt.
I mean, you just essentially versus just so it breaks up the silhouette really well.
Yeah.
Versus just, painting them or the brown because a camera sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh, yeah.
When you walk through the woods, dude, it's so easy to spot a camera. But if you had something like that just at least breaks the pattern up, it seems like a cool concept in order to do it. I'm not saying go out and do that, but whether you use some kind of tape, like stealth strips or something just to break up the pattern of the camera, if that's a concern for you.
I've never even thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't either until I saw that.
Yeah.
Most people just hang them high and hang them at an angle.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
It almost religiously.
Yeah. It makes sense. I think it's a good idea to get your camera out of the deer's line of sight.
Right.
Because even if it's at night with the infrared, that little pink that goes off or just that noise, I mean, you see it a lot. I mean,
the deer looks right at it.
A deer looks right at it. Mature deer sees it, doesn't like it, and doesn't come around that camera again.
Yep. Yeah, I've also seen that.
Yeah, so if you can do everything you can to keep it out of their line of sight and keep them unaware, I think it's probably in your best interest.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so what do you think about this week? What was the timing for this hunt? Was there a reason that you chose this week, or is it just
Columbus Day? So I can take a day off of work that I'm not having to pay for.
Got it. That makes sense. So it was based off work schedule.
Yeah, 100%. I try to do all of my trips like that if I can, base them around a day off, generally on a weekend. So I work 410s anyways, so I generally have every Friday off. So I can travel Friday, and I know Monday's a paid holiday for my company, and then I'll just take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll just eat it as sick leave or vacation time, and then come back on that Friday.
That makes sense.
And then I have the weekend to kind of recalibrate,
right?
Make things right with the wife for being gone.
Yeah, pressure wash the house like I need to do.
Yeah.
I'll get to it, I swear.
Yeah, you don't have to remind me about it every month.
Every year.
Yeah.
So so you say the Ohio River's right there. Do you have access to that? Is it on the property?
Well, I mean, it touches right to it on the backside.
So when you talk about to a lot of the guys, you hear, big bucks have wet feet.
Yeah.
Does that stand true with Ohio? I mean,
Gonna find out.
Yeah, I was going to say, is the river?
It's going to be super tough, though, because the way the farm is set and the access to it based on the wind.
Oh, okay.
Right, because it's on the far back side, and there's, like I said, there's a tree line in between with a huge soybean field. Mm-hmm. So, and the tree line cuts around to the river. So if I can get back there, that's 100% where I'm going to put a lot of effort into.
Do you know where these deer are bedding at already?
No idea.
No clue. So you're just hanging and banging and hoping for the best with this.
Yep.
This will really test your skill.
Yeah. A little nervous.
I mean,
you just made it worse.
Oh, well, that's good. So, but I mean, you've really gained, I mean, everything you've done these past 2 years, this is going to be a really good test.
Sure.
To put it all together, right? You understand access, you understand wind, you understand terrain features, how to read them, keying in on specific terrain features. I'm really curious to see what you come away with this year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some good opportunity. There's obviously some good deer that you've already got on camera, so you know they're there.
Yep.
Now you just have to put in everything into play.
That's it. I just got to piece it all together. It's a giant puzzle.
That's the hardest part.
That's it.
It's so fun though, man.
It is. And I enjoy it. It's a game.
Literally.
It's a chess match of, okay, now I know where you're at, and now I got to figure out how to bust your tail, because we're going to make this happen. We have a date, and I'm not going to miss this dance.
Right.
So we shall see. I'm excited, though. It's going to be a little nerve-wracking just because, I like to have plans, and I don't know. I was telling my wife earlier, I don't know when this happened, that I started, planning everything, to a T. I have a very set schedule. And then if anything gets twisted, and I'm chaos. Now I'm oh, crap.
Got to be able to adapt.
I do, but it's just, I get so excited.
I know you do.
Go the Indian boy. And I don't want to, rush things and then, get into a pinch and, I want to make sure everything is the way I want it to be done.
Well, that's the good thing about this hunt. It's just you.
Yeah.
There's no one telling you what to do. There's no other outside influence, essentially.
Yeah. Good or bad.
Good or bad, yeah.
So
what about this time of year? Are you calling at all? I mean,
I've tried to grunt too, but I don't have any luck with it.
Yeah.
I just,
just in there blowing on that thing.
Yeah, I guess. Joe says he grunted those 3 bucks in that he had the other night.
Did he?
Yeah.
He told me that. So I told him I had a decent buck come out from bedding. I set up, we had that good wind that was coming through the other day. From the storms off the coast, I had a really consistent wind. I got really close to bedding. I heard a deer stand up, start grunting. He grunted, came past me like he was on a mission. No idea I was there, but grunting the whole way through. And Joe's I would have grunted at him. I was man, I couldn't even see. It was so thick. He came out on my weak side. I couldn't really get a good glimpse of him until he came through. But he's yeah, I would have grunted right at him right away. I'm I didn't even have a grunt tube on me, man.
Yeah. I have one and I don't check things. It's yesterday, it was set on the smallest doe setting it had. So I'm
you got a turkey.
I'm oh God.
You got a dang turkey call out there or something that just.
So I'm just, it's in the toolkit, but I don't.
That's a rabbit in distress. You just called in a coyote.
Yeah, which I'll shoot them too.
Oh, that's so funny, man. Yeah. Gear, how does it change for this hunting scenario? Is anything changed because the weather is going to be a little bit different, right? It's going to be a little bit cooler than what we've been hunting in. Here, you basically need a tank top.
Yeah.
It's going to be cooler. So what changes as far as
I'll just take my mid-weight base layers.
That's it.
Yeah. I'll just run all my mid-weight stuff. Still run the saddle, still run my same boots. The Crispies, just everything is going to stay the same. Still run the saddle. I'll set up a blind if I have to, brush it in, or, just boots on the ground.
Right. Yeah. Are you shooting the Mach 30 at this?
Yep.
You shoot the Mach 30. What's your arrow of choice?
It is the Easton 5.0. It's running right at 440 grains. Standard 3 fletch that I did myself with the probably the Sever 2.0s.
What'd you shoot the Kentucky deer with? What broadhead?
The 175.
The 175. Okay. So I shot 2 does this weekend. So the big complaint right now, or not complaint, but the concern is the Easton 5.0. Did you shoot that buck with the 5.0?
Yep.
Did it break the arrow?
No.
Didn't break the arrow?
No.
Clean shot?
I spined him.
You spined him. Amazing.
And it didn't break the arrow.
It didn't break the arrow.
No.
Then you shot him again.
Yep. Fine.
Fine arrows, right? You shot 2 arrows.
And then I shot the doe, and that one went straight past through. I smoked her, a heart shot, and it stuck into a log.
Didn't break the arrow?
No.
So, yeah, this is where I'm kind of, the Easton 5.0 durability side of things is odd to me. So I have not had the issue either yet. I've shot 5.0s for this entire year. I'm talking about 3D and total archery challenge. So we're shooting long shots. This is the same arrow setup that I'm running for hunting. Yep. Long shots, missed targets, recovered arrows, no broken arrows at all. Then the arrow's 418 grains. And then I shot 2 does this weekend. I shot one from my stand. I was about 15 feet up, an 8-yard shot, clean pass through, lungs, top of the heart. Buried in the dirt, found my arrow. Cool. No issues with the arrow. Looked virtually unfazed.
Yeah.
Then I got down. I stalked another doe. I shot her from the ground. She was quartering to me, and I put the shot right behind the shoulder. It came out the opposite ham all the way through. Arrow, perfect. No issues whatsoever. And those were both with hybrid 1.5s from Sever. So I have not seen a durability issue from the 5.0. And that was kind of my concern this year too, because, I talked to a lot of people. I'm like, I guess the test is going to be hunting this year. That's the ultimate test for the durability of an arrow. I've always run an Axis 5mm, incredibly durable. I think I broke one of those when it stuck in a shoulder in a deer.
It's the only one I broke this year, the 5.0.
Yeah. Okay.
I did. I shot the big doe in Southern Kentucky, through right behind her right shoulder, stuck into the
opposite.
Yeah. And it was in the knuckle.
Yeah.
And it broke off at the other one on the front side.
And that's typical. You're going to see every arrow, I think, for the most part break that way. But I have not seen any of the 5.0s personally break center of the shaft for any reason. I've yet to break one. So I'm curious as people, like if you're running the 5.0s, like what's your issue that you potentially have had with them, how they've broke. Have you had an issue with the 5.0? Leave us some comments and let us know, because I'm very curious about that, because I have not had that experience yet.
Same.
And I've shot, like I said, 5.0s all season long with no instances or issues whatsoever, to include hunting and killing deer. So
yeah,
interesting.
And I've got 4.
Yeah.
I've got 4 in the freezer.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting. I'm curious as to what the issue is some people are having with them. And my build's nothing crazy. So mine's 50 grains of brass in it.
Same.
100 grain head up front, 418 grains coming out of a Mach 33, 76 pounds, 28.5 inches. It's honestly lighter than I would like, because the bow's shooting so fast.
Yeah.
I would like my bow shooting a little bit slower, like sub 290s, just because I think it tunes better. Yeah, it's easier to tune. But it's shooting ungodly fast right now, and that thing is...
But you're not running collars, are you?
I'm not running collars.
That's why. That's where my extra weight's coming in, because I have almost the same setup. 50 grains of brass up front.
Plus the
that's
collar.
What, we talked to Cody, and he's like, this is the build. 50 grains of brass, collars, do this, do that. 100 grain or 125 up front, but I'm only running 100.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
same.
It's got to be the collars.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the collars is between like 12 and 18 grains, depending on... which would put you right at that 440.
Yep.
Because I'm at 418. So if it's 12 grain collar, you're there.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the math?
That'd be 430, but
that's 430.
Close.
Yeah, close. You know what I'm saying? Math. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. And this was kind of a test for me, because I've always ran a little bit heavier arrow, like right 440 to 460.
That same.
But I built these arrows specifically for Total Archery Challenge, because I wanted something to shoot fast and flat out to distance. And I wanted to be able to get my tape that far. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to test it this year for hunting. So far, so good. I love it, because like between
your pain gap's nothing.
Dude, between 20 and 40 yards, I don't got to dial anything. And I'm running a 2-pin HHA, just the vertical 2-pin. So I was always worried about a vertical pin not having my 3 indicators 20, 30, 40, because mentally I just ingrained that in myself that I need that. But dude, I've been practicing just gap shooting, just holding based off distance. And dude, I can put that pin without dialing anything out to like 40, and I have no issues whatsoever. Yeah. Like perfect shot.
Did you see the test I just did?
No.
So you can set your pin to 50 yards.
Oh, that Hoyt test? Somebody from Hoyt or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So I tried it. I put my pin at 50 yards, and then I went from 50 all the way into 20. If you aim a foot low, exactly a foot low, because I marked it on the target, at 20 yards, I'm hitting perfect. A foot low with my 50-yard pin. At 30 yards, a foot low with my 50-yard pin. Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds kind of like a pain in the ass.
It is, which I won't do. But if I'm in a spot where I'm a little bit wider open, so say I'm in Ohio,
yes,
I'm going to set my pins to 20, or 30, 40, 50, because I won't need the 20-yard pin. I'll just aim at, realistically, his elbow if he comes into 20 with my 50-yard pin.
I don't like that. That sounds risky. I like that I have the ability to go out to 20 to, I think that's 40. My bow is literally right there.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, that's the great thing about shooting a fast arrow or fast setup. The trajectory is so flat. You can get away with a lot. Your margin of error is greater.
Yes. You're not worried about overgrowth, undergrowth. You're shooting flat exactly where you want it. Your pin gap is nothing. So say they're at 26, you just put both pins right on it.
Literally, yeah.
And
I can put both those pins on it, and I know I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, there's no issues.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's awesome. But the tuning side of things, especially if you're going to shoot a fixed blade broadhead, that's where I think you'll have a little bit more issues with the bow shooting that fast. Like my bow's shooting like 298 or 299 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Too fast, in my opinion, personally. But it's working this year, and I'm a mechanical guy for
Same.
East Coast, and it works.
Same.
So.
I went down the heavy arrow rabbit hole, and I mean, and it's just, what are you shooting? Where are you shooting? You know, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of patience to, I mean, really run a broadhead that's fixed, because it's a wing. It's counteracting the wings that are on the back.
You've got to know how to broadhead tune a bow.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to. If you can't do that, you have no business running a fixed blade broadhead.
And you can't just run your rest in or out.
Yeah. That bow's got to be set up correctly.
Yes.
There's so many more variables to consider. But if you're into it, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think there's any wrong answers.
No, there's not.
It's whatever you're
You know what it
with.
comes down to? Is shot placement. I mean, if you want to shoot a freaking field point, if you're putting it right through the pump house, dude, right on.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. I don't care what you're shooting.
Yeah. And that comes down to, I think what most people need to do is build themselves a forgiving arrow setup, right? Because shooting flat ground versus shooting an animal that's alive, it's completely different. You've got hormones, you've got stress, you've got angles, you've got vegetation. There's all these different factors that you've got to consider, and setting up something that is a more forgiving arrow setup. So if you you're not in the perfect angle, right? You're hunched up a little bit, you're bent. Your arrow is not as likely to be off target.
Sure.
Right. So depending on how you build your arrows, you need to build something that's forgiving for you and based off your shooting capability. So if you're not a good shooter, strapping a massive fixed blade on there when you don't know what vanes to run on the back of that thing, because you're trying to run a low profile vane that doesn't,
steer the broadhead
well. You don't know how to broadhead tune. It's probably not a good look for you. You might want to run something a little bit more low profile and simplistic.
I want, in a hunting scenario, I want as much forgiveness as possible.
Same.
And I can shoot fairly decent.
Same.
I mean, I'm no pro, right? But we go to tack and we hit foam, we don't lose arrows.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. I think it comes down to just setting up what you're comfortable with. And like we said, as a hunter, your goal is forgiveness, because the end goal is obviously shooting and killing an animal. And you want something that's going to increase your likelihood of that. So if you're setting yourself up for failure by this massive arrow, that's whether it's too heavy or too light with this blade or that blade, just because you saw it on social media and you've never actually tested it, it's probably not the right move. We always encourage you to go out and test your equipment before you
absolutely
go out on a hunt. It's going to save you a lot of headache.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of headache.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about, so you've kind of made a transition back to a wrist release this year.
So I go back and forth.
So do I. So what's your reasoning for, or why did you transition back to the wrist release? Like what piqued your interest?
So the stand, the Solex clicker, really, because I like the clicker on my thumb button, right? And I just feel like when I use my hand release, I'm only putting between my index and my middle finger knuckle right on my jawbone. And that's my only point of contact. Where if I'm in a wrist release, I have my whole hand on my face, where I've got like the valley between my index finger and my thumb on my jawline. My thumb is following my jawline down. It's a very sturdy anchor point, and I can really adjust it to exactly where I want it. And I didn't have to change anything on the bow.
Right.
So, especially if like you're in like a turkey hunting scenario where I may have to move to, I don't want that thing hanging on my string because it's already rubbed the string. It's fraying it from the thumb barrel of the Onyx clicker.
Huh.
So, it's just a time and a place, right? I want to have options when, like lately, I've been back on the thumb release just because it's smooth. But I want to be universal to whatever scenario I'm in. So if I'm doing a ground and pound spot and stock, I'm gonna have the wrist release on, just because I'll be able to hook into it and pull if I need to in a hurry. Where with the thumb button, it takes because I don't want it dangling around on the D loop.
Yeah. So I go back and forth. So my biggest complaint with I really like shooting the Stan Solex. I've gravitated towards that. That's all I've hunted with this year. I keep my Stan Onyx clicker in my bino harness. Yep. But the thing I dislike about the wrist release is the same thing I like about it. It's attached to me.
Yep.
My problem is when I'm hanging sticks and stuff, I tink it on them.
Same.
That's the biggest downfall with it. And I tuck it away, right? It's tucked away. It's out of the way, but it's got this big metal thing that allows you to adjust the length of pull or the actual tether on it for the neck. But that's my biggest complaint is hanging sticks. Sometimes I'll tink it on something and it drives me crazy where you don't have that issue with the thumb button.
Yeah. I leave mine in my pack until I'm set.
What, your wrist release?
Yep.
So that's almost defeats the purpose then. Why not just run a thumb button?
So if I know I'm spotting and stalking and I'm not going to hang sticks, I'll put the wrist release on.
But what if it just happens?
Then I've got my thumb barrel right there in my bino harness and I can just roll.
I gotcha. So I strap mine on as soon as I get out of the truck because
Really?
I didn't the other day and I got in the woods and I got set up and I grabbed my bow and I was like, I don't have my wrist release. I always have my thumb, which was fine, but I was like, right there. I didn't do my normal routine, pull it off my bow and strap it on me.
Got me the other night.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't have a headlamp.
Oh, dude,
I was Kevin'd.
That's the literally, if you are deep in the woods and you forget that's the worst thing in the world.
I walked through a knee-deep swamp to get to where I was at.
Nope.
And I didn't realize it. I was like, cruising. I was like, got down. I emptied my pack in the swamp looking for this headlamp. I didn't have my primary or my backup.
Yeah, that's failure on all parts.
100%.
Wow. Dude, so the headlamp story, that's a bummer, man. When you're out there and you're like, try to use a cell phone to guide your way through the woods, that little light, you can see literally
a foot in front of you.
Maybe, and you're trying to walk through there, an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Trying to track a deer with a cell phone
That's
light.
why I'm glad I didn't shoot.
Oh, dude, that happened to me. Mine died when I was tracking a deer.
Yeah, no thanks.
That was a nightmare. That's happened last year, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, so that's why you've got, it's called Peak.
The Peaks,
The Peak one is pretty awesome. It's a killer headlamp. But I used to run a rechargeable one. I turned it on, start tracking, and it died.
So I found out I can hook in one of those portable powers, and it will still work.
Yeah. So I made that mistake. So I went back to a battery powered one, and I carry extra set of batteries, and it seems to have done good so far. And it's got my reds, my blues, my whites with a floodlight and a high beam or whatever you want to call it. And it's super bright. So it's fantastic. But yeah, dude, no headlamp is an absolute bummer, especially like, dude, in the woods at night. I don't care how familiar you are with the property. It's so easy to get turned around.
I don't know why. I veer to the right all the time.
Yeah.
Only in the dark.
Do you feel like you lose your coordination in the dark?
Well, it's not coordination. I lose my
do.
bearings.
Yeah, well, I lose my coordination, it seems like. I'm like, why is my head heavier? Like, I do.
You like...
Yeah. Like, I'll go to step and I'm like off balance. I'm like, what is happening right now? It's like the duck.
I think it's just the difference in like depth perception. You don't know what the ground is.
I think so too.
Type of thing. But yeah, big head run around.
Yeah, dude, I know. You think I'd have a monster dome that I just can't support at night. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's no joke though, man. That's literally the worst thing, man. Whenever you don't have a headlamp or it dies and you've got to navigate out of the woods at night, just a bummer. And it's not it's a dark night.
Yeah, I had a little bit of moon cover.
The moon's been pretty bright. I think it was full moon last night or
last night and tonight.
And tonight, yeah.
So
Hunting's a bummer.
well, they're still moving. You just got to get them.
You got to get to them.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So Ohio, you leave on Friday. Super excited. You're driving up.
Yep.
Game plan is get on the ground, observe.
Yep.
And you're not going to push in until you've confirmed something, or are you going to, because you're only there for a couple of days, going to be pretty aggressive in your
I'm
strategy?
going to be aggressive, yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to be in a scenario like that because what's the worst that happens?
I'm going to bump deer.
You're going to bump deer, right?
Okay.
And if you are able to utilize the wind in your favor, I mean, even if you just bump them, like you said, set up where you bump them.
Okay. I know where you're at now.
Exactly.
You're either, and if it's, mid-afternoon and I bump you out of bedding, okay, now I'm just looking for food.
Right.
Because that's where you're going to be going to and from, and I'll catch you in between.
Right. I think that's one of the big fears that a lot of people have. It was for me, right? Is getting in there and feeling like you're going to screw up an area. In reality, you're not.
No. As
right?
long as they don't,
if they're winding you,
yes,
that's different.
Winding you, stomping, blowing, swimming across the river, because now you've ruined that area. Congratulations.
Yeah. And they will come back, but you're going to have to give it time.
Oh, yeah. Weeks.
Depending on where you're at.
Ever.
Yeah. And I think it really depends. But if you utilize the wind in your favor, right, to an extent, and you slowly creeping through there and you bump deer, Joe said it great. They don't know what you are, that you're a predator or anything. They'll leave, and typically they'll circle back around because they're curious, and it gives you opportunity.
I did it last night walking out.
Yeah.
I was coming through a different swamp because I went through 3 last night. Had my headlamp on, and I walk out with white light. I don't care. Saw 2 eyeballs. Big deer. Right. I looked right at him. He looked right at me, and then I kept walking. He jumped. He went 10 yards and stayed right there until I left.
Yep.
Did not move.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest fears people have, is getting in there and not, they'll just set up without any real reason to set up.
Yeah.
And if you're hunting and if you're in a crunch time frame, right, you've got to be a little bit more aggressive than if you're on home turf and you've got an entire season, right?
Sure.
You've got to kind of create opportunity to make things happen when you're out of state. And that requires being a little bit more aggressive, but also being strategic in how you are aggressive.
Right. And wind is king.
And wind is king. Wind, thermals, access, right? So you're going to have to look at, and just because the map or the weather says the wind is predominantly coming from the north, south, whatever it is, you've actually got to go in there and kind of wind map that yourself, because terrain features funnel wind and can make, it says there's a northeast wind, but depending on where you're at, it might be coming out of like the south or southeast.
Especially in the bottom. So you've got to take that into consideration. And that's where, again, it comes down to being strategic in the way you move through the woods and your woodsmanship skills, right? You take all these data points, you look at them, you've keyed in on areas. Well, then you've got to go put boots on the ground, check the wind, be a little bit of aggressive, be willing to bump deer. It's not going to matter.
But but not be so hung up on, a fear of making a mistake that you keep yourself from having the potential to be successful.
Sure.
I think people get hung up all the time on that. I know I did. I was like, oh man, it's just not, if I don't want to move in too far, I'm like, dude, I've got 5 days to be here. You've got to make something happen. You've got to commit. You've got to move. You got to get to where the deer are.
Can't just sit on one spot and just hopefully they come around. You got to, look for sign, come up with a game plan.
Yep. Especially if you don't have a bunch of intel to run off of, right?
That's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing, which to me is the most exciting, right?
Yeah.
When there's no expectation, right? Or there's that curiosity that comes, you don't know exactly what's there. That to me is fun.
Yeah.
Because every time you go out there, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah. It's
I love that.
It's just a new day every day.
Yeah.
A new piece of land, okay, let's go. We're learning, we're moving. We're going to try and make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really easy to get up on like the trail camera side of things. It's so easy to just be obsessed with that and not hunt because of you're not seeing something.
Sure.
Right. Which takes away the fun for me. I enjoy just being in the woods. Obviously we all want to kill deer, but it's exciting whenever there's an unknown that comes along with it.
Well, that's why I move so much.
Yeah.
That's why I go to different places. I try to, let's see how successful I can be. And I've been hunting a lot. I've not seen deer, I think twice.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That just shows growth, I think, as a hunter, where you're able to be more consistent on deer.
Yeah.
Especially in new spots, right? You're understanding how to read terrain and, what attracts them? Why are they there? And whenever you understand that, your success rate skyrockets.
Oh, yeah. And just because you think an area looks pretty,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that
I'm the
there's
worst.
deer. Dude, I'm horrible.
This is such a deery area.
Yeah, this looks perfect. It's open. There's like 2 oak trees here. This is great. I'm gonna get in here.
Yeah,
There's
nothing.
zero sign.
Not zero sign.
Why? But this looks good to me.
To me,
I'm 100% guilty of that.
I'm a human, not a deer. Why do I think?
Yeah, because it looks. This is where I would live. I could put a hammock in here and it'd be perfect. No,
Yeah, that doesn't exactly work.
no.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. Yeah, I love that. I love the unknown side of things. You know, maybe the success rate isn't as high as guys running cameras and who have all this intel, but to me, it's just fun, man. Going out, exploring.
But you're building your own intel.
You are building your own intel, man. And then whenever that time comes and you connect, man, it's like you can reflect on everything. Look what I did. Yeah, it's different. And I don't think there's any wrong way to do it, whatever your approach is.
No.
As long as you enjoy the process. That's what it's all about.
That's all that matters.
That is it, man. That is it. So heading up Friday, you've got a long drive. Are you taking just the one bow or are you taking 2 bows?
I'll take 2 just in case.
Yeah, it's always good to have a backup, I think, when you're out of state.
Yeah, just because I don't want,
You never know, dude.
You never know.
Stuff happens. We'll see. All right, so what else we got? Anything else exciting going on? I mean,
I just found out that Virginia does a deal for licenses for veterans.
what do you mean?
So like I won't have to pay full price. Normally full price for,
In Virginia?
yeah,
Why are we talking about Virginia?
because I may go to Virginia in November.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm still,
Like public?
well, I can hunt the base.
Oh yeah, that I didn't think
So
about
I
that.
can, so
There's been some good deer killed in Virginia. I just talked to Taylor.
yeah,
He shot a monster out there.
on Quantico
Yes.
proper.
Yep.
I am like, and I can stay on the base at a hugely discounted rate because I'm retired.
Mm-hmm.
So there goes that.
It's not a bad idea. I was supposed to be in Kentucky already. I'm still trying to finagle my way to get there.
Yeah, I don't know what your problem is.
I don't either. It's this
Yeah, time and money.
time and money. It's not even the money side. I mean, it's not that expensive to go.
No. Well,
It's just the
especially
time.
especially if you get like a deal where I can get a yearly license for $50,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and then I stay, at the whatever Devil Dog Inn for $50 a night. Okay,
Yep.
it's only a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, it's tough to beat, man. Dude, Kentucky's only like 10 and a half. I mean, that's really not a bad drive either.
No, that's what Ohio is for me now.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. All right, dude. So what's the mental approach looking like for this for you? I mean, are you just open-minded, just going,
oh yeah, just
no expectations?
no set plans. As much as I'm obviously hunt mornings and evenings.
Yep.
But go in, find sign, just try and be aggressive as possible without getting, overly, committed to a certain spot, and then just, run and gun.
That's it. Are you planning on, are you just after a buck? Or are you going to
That's
shoot that you're just after the one deer?
Yep. One tag, one deer.
Is that what you get in Ohio? Is just one tag?
That's all I bought. I can buy more.
Oh,
I can
okay.
I can do more.
So
but
anybody going to Ohio can get like doe tags and then one buck tag for the year?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we're going to make it happen.
That's it, dude. Well, hopefully everything goes well. I'm sure it will. Like I said, you've had nothing but success already this year. Might as well carry that train on forward.
I'm trying, brother. Trying.
That's it, dude. I'm jealous, man. I'm stoked for you, though. Hopefully, like I said, it all goes well. You have a good trip. You learn a lot. You're able to capitalize on something. And then we can report back and see how it went.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's it. All right, guys. That's it. That's another episode of the Archery Project with the one and only Mr. Brian Bobcats and Broadheads. And if you're looking for him, you can find him on all the socials. He's got some entertaining stuff, which he's quite the prankster with the latest joke you just played on your wife.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't think it was me, but.
Well, hilarious. I feel bad for your wife sometimes.
Why? Why does everyone say that?
Dude, it's rough.
She laughs all the time.
She does laugh. She's lucky. She married the funny guy.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Brian, man. Appreciate you joining us, man. Like I said, good luck on the hunt.
Yeah,
This is
perfect.
the show. Good luck on today's episode.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, thanks, dude. All right, that's it, guys. We're wrapping it up. We got to get to work. We will see you guys in the next episode of the Archery Project. Drop some comments. Give us some feedback. Let us know. I'm curious, too, on what you guys, anybody that's in Ohio, hunting Ohio, if you have any feedback on what's going there as far as the EHD problem. Drop some comments. Let us know what you guys are seeing on the ground there based what we're seeing on the news.
Yep.
I'm very curious. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you guys next episode.